Hey guys, SimCoder here, and today we are going to move on our Uber series. And what you are going to do is to, well, when the driver gets a request, it shows the route to the customer. And now we are going to, after that, give the driver the ability to change that into the destination. So from the location where he picked up the customer to the final destination of the customer if he shows one. So let's get right on with it. And the first thing we gotta do is to, in the Firebase database, actually add, let me just do one thing to show you. So right now if you call a driver, it creates the customer request and then only adds the destination and the customer ride ID. What we are going to do is to add the destination latitude and longitude, which I already did. So yeah, let's get right on with it and open up the Uber project, which I have right here. Let me just scroll to the top so you know where we are at the moment. So this is where we left off in the previous lesson. Now we are going to add the longitude and latitude to the customer request. So let's go into CostumerMapActivity. Scroll to the top so that you know where I'm at. Okay, and now that you are here, oops, let me just check one thing, latitude, okay, that's everything that we need. Now you only have to add the latitude longitude. So going here and create a variable of the type LatLng, destination LatLng. Okay, now let's initialize this variable so that we know for a fact that there's something inside there, even if the user doesn't input a destination. So we are going to create a default destination that tells the user that no destination, tells the driver that no destination has been chosen at the moment of request. So 0, 0. This is in the middle of the ocean, so there's no, you can be sure that the customer won't be choosing this exact latitude and longitude by chance. So yeah, now we can go ahead and actually populate that destination latitude and longitude. And the way you do that is by going to the autocomplete fragment, which is the edit text where the user can actually choose the destination, and just write destination LatLng equals to place dot get LatLng, and that's it. So now all that's left is to actually place this LatLng inside the database, and that's really easy. You just go inside the get closest driver, which is where we populate the driver child with our customer ride ID, the destination, as I showed you just now, and now the destination latitude and the destination longitude. So let's go with the lat. And now to get the latitude, because we are making it a distinction, we just get the destination LatLng, which is this one right here, and then say latitude, as simple as that. And do the same thing for the longitude as well, obviously. So LatLng dot longitude. Okay, so now this reference is being uploaded to the database. And after that, we are actually going to do some minor changes to this code, the part of the customer map activity, which I didn't foresee when we were actually beginning this project, and so now we must do those changes. And the main difference is that now the driver will be able to, let's say, cancel a ride, but it isn't really cancel, it's just to let the database know and the customer know that the drive has ended. And because of that, we must use the same system that we did in the driver map activity. I'm going to pick it up right now, which is this one, the get assigned customer. As you may remember, and I'm going to pick up the database again and call a driver, the driver is always checking for this database, the child, to know if he has been called for a job. So now, if the driver also has the ability to cancel a ride, then the customer will also have to be constantly looking at this child at when a drive is happening, when a request is taking place, so that he knows when the driver has ended, and then in the future we'll use that in order to make evaluations of the driver by the customer. So yeah, let's just cancel this, we don't need it. And okay, now we can actually just grab this code and copy and paste that inside customer map activity. It's the get assigned customer, don't be mistaken by it, and it will be extremely easy. So let's go, where do I want to place it? Okay, below get driver info is a good place. And I've started commenting all of this, so I'm uploading to GitHub with comments because it was getting hard to understand the code. And I'll be doing this gradually because I don't normally comment a lot because I do the code for myself, which I know it's a bad practice, but yeah, I'll start doing that for you guys so you can check it out if you want. So now what we are going to change is we are going to change a bit because we are going to delete all of this. Okay, we are going to change the name to get has ride ended. Okay, now it isn't driver ID, it is driver found ID because it is our current driver ID. And now we are going to call this reference drive as ended ref. And we are going to create a variable here because we will have to be able to cancel this value event listener when the ride has ended, and to begin it, to start it again with a different driver when the user clicks call Uber again. So yeah, private database reference, not this one, database reference, drive as ended, and now private value event listener, just as we have been doing till now, drive as ended ref listener. So grab that and say in here equals to drive as ended ref, and this will start the value event listener and will give us the ability to cancel it in the future. So the only thing that we care about is it in the moment of deletion. So that's the only thing that we gotta be looking out for, and so that happens. Let me just write this. That happens every time it's an else. It's this else. If this else is triggered, then we know the driver has cancelled the ride. And because of that, it becomes really easy. So it will look like this. Now what we are going to do is create this private, this function EndRide. So private void EndRide. And we are going to do this in order to make the code look nicer, and because we are using doubling the code basically, so it looks a bit off if we don't use this. So this if request bool is called when the customer has cancelled the ride. So you can actually just grab it all and say EndRide, okay, and now go on the EndRide function and just copy and paste that inside. Okay, there we go. Now we must do one small change, and I believe it's just one, which is to add this remove listener of this thing right here. So yeah, just say drive as ended ref dot remove event listener, drivers, and ref. And that's basically it. Now, in the customer side of things, what we need to do is to actually call this function, and we are all set and done to move on to the customer side of things. So we call that function when we call everything else, the get driver info, the get driver location, all that, just place it there. And that's it. We don't need to do anything else in the customer side of things, I believe so. And I may be wrong, but if I am, I'll record a bit more. So, but we'll test it later. So for now, let's go into the driver map activity. And I'm going to scroll to the top so that we know where we are at. And we are going to add a button because this is going to be done manually. We are going to have a button that appears at the moment of when the request is made. So it will say something in the lines of picked customer, and the driver must click it every time he picks the customer up. And then we will have that button will change the text to EndRide or something like that. And when that EndRide is called upon, it is because we have dropped off the customer at the drop-off location, the destination, there he is. So we will need a button for that, obviously, and to do that, let's go into activity driver map. Let's open the preview. I'm going to set this visibility to visible so that you know what we are doing at the moment. And now, let me just check one thing. Yeah, we are going to add another linear layout to add the button to the bottom of this layout. So the width will be match parents, height wrap contents, and orientation horizontal. Okay, engulf all of that. And now the main linear layout, this one, the customer info, will be of the orientation vertical. Okay, and I believe that's almost it. And now let's add a button to the bottom. So button with match parent, wrap content, text, and the default text will be picked customer because it is the first text that appears. As I said, it is the text that allows us to know that the driver has picked up the customer. And the ID will, let's call it ride status. Okay, I believe that explains a lot, and that's it. So now let's grab this ID and add the button for it. So ride status. Now let's add the button inside here to define UID. UID r.layout ride status. Okay, so now that we have our button, now things will get a bit complicated, so I'll try to explain it as best as I can, and please follow up and listen to everything because it is really important that you don't mess anything up. So we are going to need a couple of variables more, and the first one will be status, which will tell us in which state of the drive we are in at the moment. So it will be of the type int, and I'll explain to you in a second. Let me just add another one, which will be the check where it is. The destination, where is it? Okay, no problem. Let's just add destination here. I don't think we'll need that, but yeah, just to have it. So, and then private LatLng destination LatLng. Okay, so that's all said and done. So now I'll explain you how we are going to use this status. And it is basically what we did in the customer map activity on the click of the button, but with ints it looks nicer. So let's do set on click listener, as we always do. On click listener. And now we are going to do a switch for the status. So when the status is 1, then that means the customer is on its way to pick up the customer. Okay, so I'm going to finish this switch and then I'll show you where we change the status. If the status is 2, then that means the customer, the driver, is on its way to the destination with the customer inside his car. Okay, I believe that was clear. So we are going to change the status. Let me just check exactly in the get assigned customers. So inside here we change the status to 1, and then in the EndRide function we'll set the status to 2. The EndRide will be will not be the same, but will be similar to the customer map activity. So we can actually go ahead and grab it and write. We'll grab it all because we'll need it for now. So let's add it where I really need to start commenting on these things. So let's add it in the bottom. And now, okay, so check one or two things. Yeah, I actually didn't need to do all of this. I didn't need, because I don't need this. I don't need this. I only need a couple of things to be precise. So we are going to remove this, so I'm going to leave it there, but I'm going to remove this, and this will be the customer ID because it is a customer request, so we can actually change it to customer ID and then move it to customer ID equals to nothing only after, otherwise it will give an error. And now let me just do one thing that I need. Okay, because I need this user ID for this, and please I'm trying to do this as fast as possible, so if you need to then stop the video and look at it yourself, then please be my guest. I know this is a bit confusing, but I'm trying to understand what we need to do and to not miss on anything. So inside here it will be customer ID, and they started now machining some walls in my building, so I'm sorry about that noise. Jesus Christ, it was the best time for them to do this. So yeah, now inside here it will be the user ID because it is the customer request, but it is inside the driver reference. So yeah, that's almost done. We don't need this. We just need to erase polylines and change the name of the status button again to the default one, which is pick customer. Dot set text. Okay, so yeah, now what we need to do is to put the default texts and everything on the customer info. The layout that pops up telling the user to do something, to let the user know, the driver know the customer info. So for that we actually need these both. So we need this and the get assigned customer location listener. We also need that, so we can change this by EndRide, because this is the get assigned customer function, and it is is exactly the same function that we did on the customer map activity just now. It is the function that checks for the child that's created here at the moment of request. So let's go below and add this all inside here. Okay, that's all we need. And yeah, so it looks nice. Okay, status equals to 1, and right. Okay, so now that's said and done with. Now on the case 1, which is when the user actually picks up the customer, we need to do a couple of things. The first of all is to erase the route from the driver to the pickup location. Then we need to add a new route, and we need to change the text of the button and the status to true. So first thing first, status equals to 2. Then erase polylines. This will clear the map of all the routes that have been displayed. And now, if destination latitude longitude dot latitude different from null, this is the default one as I've said previously, and destination latitude longitude dot longitude different from 0, not all 0, 0. Then we get the route to marker, destination LatLng, and EndRide status dot set text drive completed. Okay, so now all that's left is to actually get this destination latitude longitude from the database. And I made a spelling mistake here, which I'm going to fix right now. Okay, and now we are going to move on and go to the get customer destination, and there we are going to take care of both the name of the destination and the latitude and longitude, so we kill two birds with one stone. And yeah, let me just check how it is at the moment. Customer request. Okay, now this will change because we are no longer only listening for the destination. We'll also be listening for the latitude and the longitude. So we'll need a map for that. Let's create it really quick. So string object map equals to map string object data snapshot dot get value. It is always the same. We have already done it before, so no worries about that. And yeah, so now we are going to make some changes to this. So I'm going to erase it, just add the semicolon, the bracket at the end, and now we do if map.get destination, and make sure you don't make any typos on this, otherwise it will fail. If this happens, then destination equals to map dot get destination dot toString. Okay, and now let's add it to the destination info. We'll set text. I actually didn't need to erase all of that. It was stupid of me, but oh well. Plus destination, and that's okay. So now let's do the else, and the else is for the case where there is no destination set. So we didn't really need to do this, but it's just to be clear and sure of that. So destination, and this is the default text that we are using at the moment. So yeah, that's it. And now for the destination latitude and destination longitude, we'll need two variables of the type double. Destination of the type double, yeah, latitude, and we are going to set the default 0, 0, and just copy and paste that and do the same for the longitude. So yeah, now if map.get destination lat, different from null, it is just as we did before, then destination lat equals to double, and now we are going to pass the map get string, because we are going to get it like this. We are using this form, and we need to pass it to double, and so we do double value of map dot whatever child you get, whatever child you want, to string, and then move it to double. Okay, that's the way I always do it, and I believe it is the best one, so be my guest. Now let's do the same for the longitude, and finally populate the destination latitude and longitude. And we've done it before. We'd simply say new LatLng and then the latitude and the longitude. You must put the latitude first and then the longitude. Don't forget that. And that's it. I believe we are finally done. Let me just double check it. Okay, let's check. Oh, actually there's an error here. Yeah, because it isn't lat, it is long, so I forgot to change that. Make sure you do. That way it will be getting two of the same, and that doesn't make many sense at all. So yeah, now we are ready to run, and let's see if everything checks out. Okay, so let's call an Uber for Louisville and see if we can do what we set out to do. Call Uber, and it shows up. And now on our driver activity, we're going to say picked user, picked customer, and it should take us to the latitude and longitude that we have here. So let's do that, and it does. So yeah, that's everything that we wanted. I'm going, and if you click drive complete, it erases everything, and you can actually call it again, and everything should be working just fine. But this this error popped up. It shouldn't have, but that's a problem with this API. I'll see if there's some way to actually make this go away, and if there is, then I'll tell you about it, because it is strange, but okay, no problem. So yeah, again, thank you all very much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. I have my PayPal linked below, and if you are interested in helping me making better and more videos, then please consider donating. I've had a lot of people donating. I'm actually going to pop up the names of everyone that has donated, either through PayPal or Patreon. So a big shout out to these guys. They are a tremendous help. So yeah, I hope to see you again tomorrow, and ciao.